Howdy, YouTube. Here we are. Part 30. It's a lot of parts. I am so grateful to have you here for my overthrow of the Banuk government. This little bitch is about to be dethroned by yours truly. Honestly, I think it's a ridiculous idea, but it's all we got, I guess. I hope that you've been enjoying this series. The fact that you have made it all the way to part 30 and are watching me right now is a testament to how awesome you are. I am grateful for your support. Thank you for leaving thumbs up on these videos and for engaging with them and following the links in the description and popping by Twitch and saying hi. I really am so grateful that these videos continue to be popular and that people continue to be invested in what it is that I have to say. And I hope that in some way, at some point in this series, you've learned something or have been able to connect with something personally or what have you. So thanks for continuing to support these videos. I'm excited to keep bringing them to you. Let's see what happens. Brought to you by Montana Usurpations. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Let's make it happen. Now, before we do that, you're going to get a pause here right away. This is a really... This is dicey. This is so dicey. This is one of those things where it really seems like we are leveraging how, hopefully, strictly, the Banuk adhere to their customs. There are times where people rigidly following rules and customs is annoying and difficult to deal with. There are other times where outsiders like Aloy can use it in some ways against them, even if maybe sometimes it's in their own best interest to do that, by essentially engaging in malicious compliance, which we've talked about in this playthrough already. So Aloy coming in here as a Nora and attempting to overthrow the chieftain is a wildly ridiculous proposition. And the idea that you would have the buy-in from the Banuk on that, unless the chieftain is an absolute ass that oppresses everybody, you're really not going to have a lot of buy-in here. Why would you? Like, it really doesn't make any sense why the Banuk would be on board with that type of thing and that they would follow Aloy into the dark on this. However, if these people very rigidly adhere to the certain customs and norms that would lead to some level of, like, I guess you could call it democratic process or due process related to the overthrowing of a chieftain, Aloy could use that to her advantage. She has a shaman to vouch for her. She can lay down her spear and attempt to go. And I'm guessing there's wiggle room in Banuk law to have a chieftain be overthrown by a non-Banuk if they can show force and have the vouching of a shaman. So essentially, Aloy's using their rigid rules against them in this moment. I realize that she's doing it for good because she wants to help. But this shit's wild, and the only way that it's plausible is if the Banuk really do stick to their guns on their traditions and their customs. And if they do, this is plausible. If they don't, then this is ridiculous, and Aloy is at massive risk. And if I was Aloy, I would be asking that shaman just copious amounts of questions to ensure my safety here, because this is, I mean, Aloy really has to ask herself, is this worth the risk of my own personal safety to try to figure this corruption out when these people are mixed in terms of their desire to have an outsider's involvement on it in the first place? Very complicated stuff.
You've survived another day, I see.
Here we go.
My people have been telling tales of your accomplishments. Seems you have taken a special interest in our stretch of snow, Outlander.
Yes. And apparently this is the only way I'll get to see all of it.
Is this a challenge?
For the Warwick.
You? This must be a joke.
It is not a joke, Aratak.
Now I see. The Outlander's your pawn. And with you backing her claim, I have no choice but to accept.
There it is. It's exactly what I was talking about. There it is. There it is. I have no choice but to accept. I mean, you do have a choice. But if he is going to follow the societal standards and rules and wants to uphold all of the customs that they hold so dearly, indeed, he's got to follow it.
I expected better of you, sister.
It was you who forbid me from Thunder's drum, brother.
Brother and sister? This is a little more complicated than I thought.
No, it's simple. You will meet me at the Frost Figures, and I'll put a quick end to this mockery.
Could have told me that,
I
Araya.
suppose I owe you an explanation.
Yeah. I suppose you do. So why didn't you tell me that you and Aratak are siblings?
I thought I wouldn't have to. I'm surprised Aratak brought it up in front of a stranger. He must be very angry. I'm not always the best judge of...
People.
I prefer the company of spirits. They're simply my own. I didn't want you to think of our pilgrimage as some sort of family squabble. It's much more important than that.
You could just say that! Gah! Oh my god. At this point, I assume that so many of you have watched my playthroughs enough to know why this drives me up a wall. If you are going to involve somebody in your shit, and you're going to ask them a favor, and you're going to ask them to get involved in the shit that's going on, whether family related, outside family related, or both, it is your responsibility to give that person all of the information that is necessary to make an informed choice about whether to help you. There have been so many times where people have withheld information from Aloy out of a fear that if she knew the whole thing, she would make a different decision, which is all the more reason why you should give her that information. You could explain it. Take your time. When you're in the mountain, you say, look, hey, by the way, there's a caveat to this, and I'm bringing it up with you because I want you to know that it's happening, but I want you to know that this extends far beyond petty family squabble. This is something that is way more important to the Banuk as a people. Aratak's my brother. Let Aloy tell you what she makes of that. Let Aloy tell you how that information affects her and then respond from there. Orea making that determination on Aloy's behalf that Aloy will see this as petty family squabble is projection. It's assumptions that are not in any way related to what she knows of Aloy. That's her filling the gaps of her ignorance with her own inductive reasoning, which is a pitfall that so many of us run into, and I've talked about it countless times through these playthroughs. You give people the information rather than throwing them into cost sunk on this and getting Aloy already involved where she dropped her spear down, and now you're going to get this information after Araya made a really shitty assumption that her brother wasn't going to bring this up. Now, I fully acknowledge that them being siblings doesn't really affect anything. It's not that big of a deal as far as I'm concerned beyond labels, but if it's something that affects Orea and Aratak and the way that people are going to view this challenge that Aloy is directly involved in, Aloy has a right to know that information. And it is Araya's responsibility to be forthcoming with that information, not Aloy's responsibility to ask a zillion questions to get the information out of her, because Aloy doesn't have the context for this. You have to share all the information when you have it and let people formulate their own decisions based off of that. You can provide that context at the outset. Ugh. Luke, thank you for the sub and for the 10 gifted subs. It's very generous of you. I appreciate it. Now, yeah, Aloy could back out here. If Aloy decides, you know what? No. Like, this is the thing, is Aloy has a choice here. Aloy can say, you lied to me by omission. And this is information that would have made, this would have absolutely affected my decision. In fact, I would have still made the same decision to put my spear in the ground. I would have still done it if I knew this. Because to me, that's not particularly important. However, I don't trust you now. I'm here now on false pretense. You've withheld information. And now, at every step of the way, I don't know what kind of information you're withholding from me. So it's very difficult for me to want to go forward with this now. I'm going to pick up my spear and I'm going to leave. I'm going to go back to the cut. Because this is now something that you have made a bigger deal. It's essentially become a self-fulfilling prophecy for Araya in that way. She is so worried that that information was going to change things that she withheld the information. And then the information comes out and it ends up being the thing that screws everything up because she lied, not because of the information itself. And that is the pitfall that so many people run into. So many people have self-fulfilling prophecies happen when they are attempting to compensate for the thing that they are afraid is going to happen. So Aloy could say, you know what? Screw you. I'm out of here. Figure it out yourself. They'd be like, but you threw your spear in the sand and I don't care. Pick it up and I'm gonna leave. You don't get to put me in this position and sell me on this and then lowball me on the back end.
It's bold, I'll give you that. Going after your own brother.
He gave me no choice. He thinks I'm a child to be shoved to the back of the hunt. He would forbid me from my destiny. And yet, part of me did it knowing he would forgive me, eventually. He always does.
Family drama aside, what's this challenge meant to be anyway?
You and Aratak will hunt machines at the Frost figures. The victor will be the fastest. It won't be easy.
Nothing about this has been so far.
When you meet us at the starting point, I'll tell you more. It will be simpler to explain from the base of the hills.
Araya, it's not about who's related to who. I want to know what's inside Thunder's drum. The spirit, the daemon, and how it all connects to the machines. But if we're gonna go through with this, I need you to be straight with me.
I underestimated you. And Aratak. I won't make that mistake again.
See you at the Frost figures then.
I appreciate her willingness to take accountability there. I appreciate that Aloy is direct about that. Aloy has every right to say that. And I appreciate that Araya is willing to acknowledge that that was something that she did, but she's on thin ice. And she doesn't get to be just, okay, cool, we're fine, just because she said that. I'm glad that she did. I cautiously believe her. But again, you want to avoid this. You can't unknow that this happened. So you're better off being preemptive with this stuff and being straight up front than you are having to regroup and ask for forgiveness and say, okay, I won't never do it again. You were underestimating Aloy because you didn't take time to get to know her. We're underestimating Aloy because you didn't ask the right questions. Because you chose to go and operate on your own assumptions than to gather the information you needed to make an informed decision about whether to get Aloy involved. This isn't about Aloy at all. It's about Araya. And it's about the way that she oriented herself to this. And I think it's very important to use this as an opportunity to illustrate this fact that it's on you when you get people involved to get as much information as you need to make a decision about whether that person's going to get involved. If she asks Aloy certain questions or makes certain observations, Aloy's not willing to answer those questions and give her the information she needs, or she isn't able to directly observe Aloy in a way she needs in order to get her involved, then don't involve her. Do the work to get the information. It wasn't that hard. You just got to give me some information and give me an opportunity to respond. By me, I mean Aloy. And you go from there. It's frustrating, man. It's just really frustrating.
So, off to risk my life in order to take charge of a Banuk hunting band. Just what I always wanted.
Now, I will, because I've been so hard on Araya here, I am going to take a second and I'm going to talk about the empathic view. Why would Araya do that? Why do people do that? People do it because they unfairly bias their future events and the present with things they've learned from the past. She said as much. This is why I emphasize as often as I do that the past does not predict the future. She made all sorts of assumptions about an unknown entity based on her brain's desire to fill in the gaps and know what she's working with. The problem is when you operate off of your assumptions, you don't actually know what you're working with. You're working off of abstractions that you've derived from your previous lived experiences, and it's more likely to get you in trouble than anything else. You got to work with the known variables of a situation, and if any of those variables are unknown, you get to know them by observation and communication rather than a whole bunch of inductive reasoning based on your previous lived experiences. So she was worried. She knows that this is a big ask. There's a lot going on here. She is aware of the fact that she's not particularly good at reading the people around her. And so she made that call to withhold that information. I don't believe she was doing that maliciously. I don't think she was trying to get one over on Aloy. But if you're Aloy, it sure feels that way. And the impact of that is a lot more important than what Araya's intentions were. We can hear her intentions. We can understand the context. We can give her another chance. But that impact is going to stick with us and be fresh for a while.
Frost figures, here I come.
All right. What is this? Another quest?
Can't let yourself be complacent. These new cards offer peace to the Banuk.
I see exclamation point. I get excited.
Come, Aloy.
A little business.
Oh, what's up, big guy?
What can I do for you, Berggrund?
Mourn my poor departed luck. I finally met some Banuk keen to trade with Outlanders. Then, they up and vanished. 3 Banuk hunters rolled in a few days ago. No provisions, junk equipment, no idea how to strip a machine for parts. Asked me to outfit them for a long trip. And you know me, Aloy. I'm sentimental. So I did it on credit.
And they haven't paid.
Well, they tried. Just look what they did to this Thunderjaw heart. But that was ages ago. And I'm starting to worry about them.
Tell me, Berggrund, are you worried about their well-being or your purse strings?
A man can worry about 2 things.
Uh-huh. What kind of deal was this, really?
Just what I said. I was nothing but generous, Aloy. After they dropped this ruined heart at my feet, I even gave them another chance. Sent them to fetch a few other parts I need.
But you haven't seen them since.
Hide nor hair.
What do you mean they couldn't harvest parts?
Not uncommon with Banuk. That's shaman's work, you see. The hunters take down the machines. The shamans slice them up. No shaman with these three. Just two youngsters sniping at each other. And that big fella standing there smiling.
So if the Banuk don't usually hunt without a shaman, what's the story with these three?
They weren't telling. But hammer to steel is not a happy story, whatever it is.
So many of the problems that we come across in this game, in other games, tonight, can really, it can be mitigated by one very important thing that, as hard as it seems like it is to do sometimes, will save you so much stress on the back end. Communicate. Communicate. This isn't about ability. This dude knows how to talk. He's got words. He has language. So do the Banuk. The lack of information exchanged via communication is just gumming up the works in every possible way. If people would just talk, ask questions, answer questions, be direct, be clear, engage out of curiosity, gather the information you need to make a decision, and if you don't get the information you need, make a different decision. It would just make this shit so much less annoying. It is so frustrating how often people prevent themselves from communicating effectively because of the just unreal amount of assumptions they make about what it is that's happening. We make so many assumptions of intent. Make so many, give the benefit of the doubt just because it seems like it's the right thing to do, and it's a lot easier to do that than ask the hard questions, and you screw yourself over when you do that. Berggrund needed to ask questions. He needed to gather information. He needed to make a more informed decision about what he did. Is it cool that these people have disappeared and aren't coming back and aren't paying him back? No. There could be any number of reasons why they haven't done that. But could he have also gathered more information here? Yes. It's just wild to me how often people screw themselves over because of an unwillingness to communicate directly. Man.
You said they asked you to outfit them for a trip. A trip to where?
Not sure. But I heard them chattering about the Sundom when they thought I wasn't listening.
So they're leaving Banuk territory.
Sensible behavior. Still, I get the sense this wasn't a sightseeing trip. They're running from something.
I'm not a debt collector, Berggrund. If I look for them, it'll be to make sure they're all right.
Of course, of course. Fires of the Forge, forgive me. I actually like these idiots. The molten steel of youth and all that. But if you do manage to find them, you could remind them of the deal we made. A scorcher claw, a loop of sinew from a stalker, and a snapmaw fang. If they bring me those parts, their debt's paid. And then some. Just make sure they don't bust them up too badly.
I'll consider it.
Last I saw them, they were heading northeast. Good machine hunting up that way. If you decide they're worth the trouble, you might look for them there.
We brought a first-timer on the hunt today.
Aloy, you might get hurt on the way, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I mean, you could make an argument that if it's that important to Berggrund, he could get his ass out there and find him himself. Like, there is a level of, it's important, but it's not that important, because I'm not willing to put myself at risk in order to get this back. I'ma send this to collections, and I'm gonna let them do my dirty work. You want it that bad, Berggrund, and you know where they are. Get your ass up there yourself.
Should have seen the look of pride on his face.
Now, you know I gotta go do that first. I'm gonna leave Aratak. I'm gonna leave Aratak hanging. Just to assert dominance. This dude's like, meet me over there. I'm like, we'll meet over there when I'm good and ready. There. Wait a second. That's not. I want that. I want the blue gleam vendor.
I can think of so little worth saying to you.
Keep the post. What do you got here? Striker bow. Power bow. Which one do I want to do? Striker bow. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's roll. We're going to walk right past, yeah, all right. Let's go.
Certain times, it sometimes helps to sing the songs of those who are important.
On the other side of the coin, Aloy could have refused and made the guy do it himself. Oh, yeah, of course she could have. Of course she could have. And again, this is something that I learned from the Cyberpunk playthrough, is I can make a point and then go still do the thing. Like, Aloy absolutely could say, I'm not going to go do this for you. I'm not a debt collector. She, at any point, all of this, Aloy could have chosen to just stay outcast. Aloy didn't have to do any of this. This video game didn't have to exist. I mean, you can wormhole that into oblivion. But again, I'm not saying that Berggrund is necessarily capable of going up there and getting this back. I realize that there are certain skills he may not possess, but the reality is, if it's that important to him, if it's so desperately important to him, he might find a way, or make Aloy an offer that's very difficult for her to refuse. It's important to ask yourself these questions when you're interacting with people that are asking you a favor. Is like, how much does this actually mean to you? Because if my own personal safety is at risk by helping you out, then I need to know what I'm getting into. And if you're not willing to put yourself on the line in some ways, why should I? Some people are willing to do that, some aren't. But again, very important to ask these questions when we're trying to make these determinations. Ooh, we got modified crabs.
I need to bring this tower down.
Go, 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 go.
Makes this a little easier.
Jesus. All right. Let's keep it moving. Ooh. Hey!
What kind of animal?
Animal figurine number 6 depicts a proud predatory animal. Inscribed 6 of 7 in a commemorative set. Copyright 2042 Montana Recreations.
Keepsake of the old ones.
Yeah. Another one. These are quite close together.
Berggrund's missing hunters.
Hey, what's up? Some crazy shit going on down there, eh?
I don't suppose you three know an Osram and Song's edge called Berggrund, do you?
Boys, that con artist sent an errand girl to collect what's owed to him.
I'm nobody's errand girl. Berggrund asked me to help harvest parts. Or would you rather keep trying to sell broken junk?
Broken junk?
This pack will be on the move soon. No time to argue. If she's offering to help, we should accept it.
Fine. We're about to take down these machines. If you're so eager to help, then lead the way.
All right. Gotta love putting myself at personal risk.
This is where it ends.
Oh, good. They do help. All right.
Try this!
Oh, this one got destroyed. All right.
Good hunting. Who needs a were-rack when you're this good?
Amen, brother.
All right, Outlander. You want to talk about our deal with Berggrund? Let's talk.
That's done. You three are pretty handy in a fight.
Thanks, I guess. Not that we needed your help. We are doing just fine without you.
That's not the way Berggrund tells it. He says you tried to settle up with him using a shattered Thunderjaw heart.
What? That's an exaggeration. It was only broken in two.
Urkai, we don't have time for this. Come on, boys, back to the hunt. We still need 2 more of Berggrund's components.
What's the rush?
We want out of these lands as soon as possible. That's all you need to know.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna ask you anyway, see what happens.
Why are you leaving the cut?
Well, we could go back to Banor. Let Anacut slit our throats.
By the blue light, Urkai. Why don't you just write our story in the snow for any passing hunter to read? We had a dispute with the chieftain of our old Werak. We thought someone else should have been in charge. He disagreed.
It seemed like a good time to move on, so we are traveling to the Sundom.
From here to the Sundom. It's a long trip.
Seems worth it. Sometimes survival is about knowing when to leave and where to go.
Yeah, and in this case, survival means us getting as far away as we can from Banor. We've seen enough red snow.
What's the plan once you get there? What will survival be about then?
Look, all that matters is that we get there. And to do that, we need shards. So if you'll excuse us.
I got shards. I got lots of those.
So this Thunderjaw heart you brought Berggrund.
Let me ask you this, all right? Why would it matter that the heart was broken into 2 pieces? Can't you just stick it back together?
Of course you can't just stick it back together.
I just meant...
Oh, I bet that scam artist Arsarim could. He just wants to send us on another stupid errand.
Oh, he's not so bad. I like Berggrund.
Like him? Tulamat, he sent us out in the snow to nearly die under the feet of a Thunderjaw, and...
Boys, shut up! Ugh! Every time someone brings up that stupid heart.
I mean, you guys didn't have to come out here, but...
I've got the Scorcher Claw Berggrund was asking for. That only leaves the Stalker Sinew and the Snap Maw Fang.
You should hold on to it. You're coming along to the next hunt after all, aren't you?
I suppose somebody's got to keep you 3 out of trouble.
Fine. I guess you'll have to tag along then. But don't start thinking you're one of us. The Bloody Snowdrifts aren't accepting new hunters.
Bloody snowdrifts? That's what you want to call our Werak?
Yeah, it's not great to tie.
Well, it's not like your names are any better. We're headed northwest, to the ruins near Hollow Hall. We'll be waiting.
The Bloody Snowdrifts, yeah! Oh my god. If I'm Aloy in real life, this is such a waste of my time. I also agree. I love how she's not telling them. By the way, when you go down to the Sundom, there's a huge war that's about to start. Like, shit's gonna be dangerous as hell. Do with that information what you want. Oh, man. All right. Let's go kill some more stuff with my cool-ass bow. Ooh, we can also go check out the wolf in Montana Recreations. All right, friends, what do you got?
Thanks for your help.
There's the herd. Everyone ready?
Are you joking? We were born ready. Let's go get them, Flaming Skulls.
Nope, that's awful.
It is a pretty bad name. Good effort, though, Urkai.
Forget it. Let's just go kill something.
Yeah!
Yeah, Okay, that's your kill, Aloy.
Sure is. Where'd that stalker go? There he is. I'm a badass. I am an American badass! Bet you didn't think there was gonna be a Kid Rock reference tonight. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
Getting closer!
Good. Making progress. Oh, I think I got the last kill.
You
I don't know
definitely
about you
did.
three, but I feel better. Aloy, did you get that component?
Yeah.
That's another part down. One more and you'll have what you need to pay off Berggrund.
Starting to feel real, you know. I'm starting to believe we're really gonna get out of here. Honestly, I wasn't sure we'd survive a week without Nakoni. But here we are.
Who's Nakoni?
Nakoni was... she was a friend of ours. She challenged the chieftain for control of the Werak.
She didn't make it.
No. If you're gonna tell this story, tell it true. She was murdered.
What happened? How did you lose Nakoni?
She challenged the chieftain to a hunting competition. Oni could, damn him. He wasn't nearly the hunter Nakoni was. But who comes back to the camp after the trial? Oniku, grinning like a snap maw, crowing, "Oh, where's little Nakoni?"
We tracked Nakoni through the woods. Found her not far from the trailhead.
With their damn neck snapped.
I don't want to remember her like that. Sometimes that memory, it's all I can think of.
I'm sorry, Tatai. It sounds like she meant a lot to you. To all of you.
Oh, man. It's a very real process, unfortunately, that can happen for people. When you know a person, and it's somebody that you spend a lot of time with, and you've gotten to know them as a person, you get to know like what they look like, what they sound like, their general orientation to the world. You stop having like a novel experience from an identity standpoint of that person because it continues to just fit into your general schema of that person. The thing that people often don't actively attend to is that your schema of that person is one where that person is alive. So if you're in the unfortunate position where you see or find a loved one who is dead, or in this case, murdered, that is a very profound violation of your internal conceptualization of that person. So much so that that anomalous representation can override some of the representation you took for granted, understandably so, in the way that you carry that person internally. And this can be quite distressing for a person. You'll hear people say this kind of thing when they're like, you know, my mom had cancer and she was really frail and it's really hard for me to get that out of my mind. I want to remember her for the way that she was prior to the cancer. Or I found this person with a snapped neck and I don't want to remember that person that way. But your brain is primed to remember the anomaly. And especially if that's your last bit of representation of that person, it's going to stick with you. The important part of that is to acknowledge that for what it was and then consider the ways that you can integrate that into your conceptualization of the person rather than deny it. Because the attempt to suppress and deny it is unfortunately denying a reality of something that you did bear witness to and does play a part in your conceptualization of it, whether you like it or not. It's a very difficult space to occupy, but when we're talking about like grief and how you carry a person forward, we have to be mindful not to make these really profound judgments of what's necessarily like good or bad. There are certain aspects of carrying a person that are painful and some that are not. But you don't want to carry a myopic view of a person as best you can, because of the attempt to do that is often going to fail, and you're going to find it to be incredibly distressing. It's sad that they had to see that. It's also something that with a bit of time and self-compassion and some awareness of what that means for how you carry a person, they could get to a point where it's not something that necessarily affects them as strongly as it does. It also sounds like there's a ton of meaning that's wrapped up in this, understandably so. So it's a complicated thing for a human to experience, and it's really important to take care of yourself when it happens and to not judge yourself for the fact that that's how you're remembering that person. Very difficult for them.
Nakoni challenged the chieftain. Why?
Onikuk wrapped himself in power and authority the way some people wrap themselves in furs. If you were willing to fawn over him and sing false songs to him, you might get a spot on the best hunts. The Werak split into two. Those willing to lick the bottoms of Onikuk's feet, and the rest of us, waiting for things to get better.
Until Nakoni.
She was the best and bravest of us. She was the one who took a stand.
Good for them. I mean, I have to say, one thing that I admire about the Banuk is that they do have a means for really any person to work their way into a position of power. Like, I do appreciate that if you're really not liking the way things are going, you could bust your ass, kind of similar to how Aloy did, and you could challenge the leader. You could walk up to essentially the president and say, put my staff in the ground, let's go. So in some ways, I admire that she was willing to take that on, especially if that was their experience.
Is this why you left Banor? Because of this business with Nakoni and your chieftain?
Onakut knew Nakoni was our mentor, our friend. We couldn't stay.
That final night, we snuck back to camp, packed what we could, and left.
Like cowards.
Ooh.
What are we to tie? We are Banuk, aren't we? Survive and prevail. That's what we do.
It's not what she did.
God, that's so complicated. There's a piece of your identity that you carry and is important to you, but it's dictated to be a certain way, and then the conflict of those things with your lived experience, very difficult thing to have to navigate. Their sense of identity has been challenged by this in a really big way, and I would hope that the three of them can kind of work together to figure out what this means for them going forward.
I'm sorry for what you've been through.
It's nice to be heard. Thank you, Aloy.
Hell yeah.
Look, it doesn't matter, okay? What happened in Banor is buried in Banor. What matters now is what happens in the Sundom. That's where the burning turkeys are gonna make a name for ourselves, right?
Oh, the burning turkeys? Seriously?
It rolls off the tongue.
Sort of like vomit?
So, where to next?
There's a lake just west of here. Seems like a good place to find a snapmaw fang. We'll meet you there.
If you beat us there, just wait by the campfire. We'll be along.
I love the way that they integrate the game mechanics into, like, just hit a save point and then we'll show up. But they make it so that it's like, it's just integrated into the world. I love that. All right, let's go turn this statue in before we go to that lake. Man, I didn't think we were gonna get a side quest to go do before we did this air attack stuff tonight.
Care to talk about the...
They're not real.
I have one of the...
Right.
Oh, which beast are you, little friend? What secrets will you tell us? Well, I've placed it on the pedestal. We'll see.
We sure will.
That's all.
Until...
Let's see.
Canis lupus.
enigmatic Grey Wolf. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
Could it be that these wolves and our foxes are the same somehow? Perhaps after hundreds of winters. No. No.
Everything's freezing. The ground, the air, me.
Don't cut him off, Aloy. Whoever's idea it was to do the Montana Recreations thing, I want to shake their hand. I really do. I love it so much. It's so over the top and ridiculous. Brought to you by Montana Recreations. I'm pretty sure that's all of them. Yeah, that's all of them. I don't have another one.
That's all.
Until...
Gotta go find the last one. Gotta go find one more. Go to this pond, yo. Oh shit, lore. Yeah. Good. Inspection failed.
Security inspection. This place, as my father used to say, is a six-alarm dumpster fire. A catastrophic breach waiting to happen. And this Malinowski guy, he's the source of the problem. I guarantee it. Too wrapped up in this pet project of his. I mean, who the hell cares if a bunch of stagnant pools of water are rainbow-colored or not?
I think the environment cares, Dodd. Proposal approved. Sylvester Malinowski, personal log number 41. Data corrupted. Approved by chromatic preservation proposal. Blevins is furious, of course, but any expenditure that doesn't directly benefit his security team makes him furious, so it's hard to work up the energy to care. In any case, I think we're a go. Now, if I'm right, with some relatively minor tweaks to the bacterial and pH contents of the springs, we should be able to cool them down without losing any of the coloration that makes them so special. The water at the centers of the pools should remain entirely sterile, and the cyanobacteria at the edges ought to have the exact same photosynthetic reaction. This is a real win. I mean, there will come a day when this park is open to people again. I have to believe that, and when it is, those people will want to see the prismatic springs. You know, it occurs to me, when all this is said and done, you'll be able to swim right through those springs. It'll be like taking a warm bath. That's why we can handle that. Love that. Some good environmental manipulation. We didn't take time to ask whether we spent so much time asking whether we could, we didn't take time to ask whether we should.
No sign of them yet. Guess I'll just sit and wait.
What up?
I was starting to worry about you three. Everything all right?
We took our time. After our last conversation, we had a lot to think about.
I can imagine. Just one more hunt, then your debt is paid and you three can make your way south. Ready?
Huntress, the Sunshine Snowshoes await your signal.
Horrible. I'm almost impressed, Dulamok. Didn't think you could come up with a name worse than burning turkeys.
Well, I liked it. Let's hunt.
Sunshine Snowshoes. Yeah, that really rolls off the tongue. What? Hidey ho! Good buddy. Whoa! All right. Come here, you stupid ass turkeys. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be over soon.
All right, let's take these guys out.
Okay then, let's see if this thing can work for me.
Oh, it can.
Too slow.
I sharpened my spear today.
Yeah. Oh, what up? Another one? Come here. Nobody likes you, Mr. Snapmon.
Well, are we done here?
Oh yeah, we're done here. Is there another one? Holy shit.
Come here, Aloy. Let's have a proper goodbye, huh?
Yeah, I'll give you a hug in a second. I gotta take this thing out. I love the noise these make.
There. That's the last of Berggrund's parts. Looks like you three are out of debt.
For now. Until Urkai breaks something else.
It was one time.
You make a nice shaman, Aloy. Thanks for lending a hand. Maybe we'll meet you in the Sundom sometime.
Once you get to the Sundom, what then? What's the next step?
We hunt like Nakoni wanted to hunt.
Nakoni had big dreams. A werak in which everyone pulls their weight and takes care of each other. No shamans, no chieftains, no need to pry the power out of anybody's hands.
Sounds like a lot of work.
But worth it, I think. And a fitting tribute to Nakoni. We can become the werak she always wished for.
You won't have me to strip your kills now. Are you three gonna be all right?
Doesn't look that hard, really. We'll be fine.
Great. He watches 3 successful harvests and he's suddenly a shaman.
When you get to Song's Edge, talk to Berggrund. If he can't teach you himself, he'll know someone who can.
Sure. And I bet he charges us for the introduction.
Thank you, Aloy. I'm sure we'll figure it out.
I love that. So if you haven't caught on to this, which I'm sure most of you have, the Banuk have the split of hunters who kill the machines, and then the shaman are the one who harvest them. And so they're calling Aloy a shaman because she's been harvesting the parts. It's kind of neat. I like that. Like, essentially having that skill in their mind gives her that role.
I guess this is goodbye. How does it feel, putting Banuk lands behind you?
The only thing I would have missed is already gone.
Let all those rotten Bonor suck-ups freeze to death.
That's a little much, Urkai, don't you think? That's strange. What is it to be Banuk after Banur forsakes you? How do we decide who we are? How about you, Aloy? Who do you think we are? What will you remember of us?
Oh, baby, that's a... This is not a, oh, this is so cute, I can tell him what I think kind of moment. This is actually a big deal. Because he asks an incredibly important philosophical question. What happens when the thing that you've subscribed to and integrated as part of who you are is no longer available in the way that it used to be, or something that you hold in the same regard that you used to? This is why people have to be very careful with throwing all of their eggs in a particular basket in terms of what you build your identity around. I am Banuk, and this is what that means. You could certainly have that, but if that's what you use as your conceptualization of who you are, and then that starts to get challenged and there's more nuance invited in, you're going to have a really hard time figuring yourself out in that space. And they're being presented with that challenge in some ways, not on their own terms, which arguably is how this happens for a lot of people. They're like, I'm this. And then it's like, wait a second, maybe I don't want to be just that. Some people lean extra hard into a singular piece of identity because it's easier, because they've essentially had who they are and what they're about defined for them. They're having the same moment that Aloy had. Is it related to being an outcast and then a Nora? What does that actually mean for me? And the way that that these three are going to want to think about this is to sit down with each other and say, organized identity out. What are the things about being a Banuk that we genuinely connected with? Not connected with because that's what we were told we were supposed to care about. But what do we actually believe and care about? Whether it's in violation to Banuk doctrine or not. And you get a lay of the land for that. Like they might say something like, I really appreciate the emphasis on physical prowess and power. I really appreciate that we try to understand the machines rather than make assumptions about them. Those things are important to me. You don't have to be Banuk to value those things. And then saying, what do I want for myself? What is actually important to me? And in some ways, I think it's leaning into the anxiety of you don't have to know what that is immediately. You could float around a little bit. You could try some new stuff out. You could go to the Sundom and change your clothes. You could wipe the face paint off. You could do whatever you want as an adult that's capable of navigating the world around you. So experiment. See what's out there for you. See what feels good. See what doesn't. Notice the times where autopilot takes you in a certain direction and ask yourself if intention would have taken you in a different direction. These are the ways that you break out of this myopic understanding of yourself that's been defined by others and by a group that you subscribe to being involved with. And why I say that this is such an important moment for Aloy is this is an intensely vulnerable question that this guy is asking. When he says, like, who do you see us as? Now, she can answer this, but what she would want to add as a caveat is just because this is what I see and what my experience of you has been doesn't mean that that's the objective truth. This is something for you to figure out on your own with time and with exploration and with communication and leaning on each other and being open and curious about the world around you instead of making decisions about it immediately based on something you've been told rather than observed yourself. What you fight for, what you've endured, what you've accomplished.
You lost someone you care about. That leaves a wound. This sort of wound a lot of people don't recover from.
Yeah. I've got nothing but scars to show for it.
That's the point. Only survivor's scar. After everything you've been through, you keep going.
We're the Scars of the North.
Scars of the North. Sounds pretty tough, doesn't it?
Thank you, Aloy. It's a good name. One we'll honor.
Scars of the North. Nice. All right, let's make good on this and then go overthrow the government. That was a cool quest. I actually really enjoyed that. Scars of the North brought to you by Montana Recreations. Burning turkeys was pretty good, though. I mean, what, bloodstained snowdrift? Bloody snowdrift? I mean, one of them is called the White Teeth. The one we can't. White Teeth is kind of lame as far as I'm concerned. Scars of the North?
Whatever happens, we can't let...
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, no, I'm still missing an animal.
Let the daemons work take our resolve from us. That's not who we are.
All right, Berggrund. You're welcome.
Berggrund, how'd your investment pay out?
Quite handsomely, thanks very much. You know those three crazy Banuk are calling themselves the Scars of the North now? Well, now that I have those parts, I can pay off a debt of my own.
So they've gone south then?
Aye, that they have. I've got a friend in the Sundom by the name of O'Toole. He owes me a favor. Old O'Toole is a machine scavenger, a pretty competent one. So I sent them to learn from the best.
Or at least from the pretty competent.
Well, we work with the resources we have. Speaking of which, here, a token of my gratitude.
Thanks, bud. Untested weapon coil? Whoa. Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? Thanks, brother. Man, that's actually really nice.
Father's guilt onto the
I'm gonna go whoop some ass now with that. Damn.
Forget what warmth feels like out here.
One shot. One opportunity. Oh, come on. All right, let's go. Oh, baby.
The frost figures. Aratak and Araya must be close.
This will be interesting.
Outlander. I have prevailed over such challenges before, and fear none. But this one is foolish. You are not Banuk. You do not understand my responsibilities. I ask you, one hunter to another, withdraw.
Will you let us go to Thunderstrom?
You haven't seen what's up there, Outlander. I will not risk my sister's life again.
Then we better get on with this.
So be it! I will bury your insolent claim in the frozen ground!
Enough! Let us begin!
Oh, God, dude. Are you kidding me? We were so damn close. Let your sister decide! Ugh! Like, dude, Araya is literally here in support of me overthrowing you. If you want me to withdraw, and Aloy's gonna say, then let us go to the mountain. And he goes, no, I won't put my sister at risk. She's standing right here. She's literally here because she wants to go on that risk. Like, she wants to take that on. And I understand if this is something that, like, you're worried that it sets some kind of weird precedent or something like that, but you're making decisions, I guess, in some ways that aren't yours to make. If this is what she wants to do, and I, as an Outlander, am willing to go with her and figure this out to a point that I'm willing, as an Outlander, to try to challenge your chiefdom, what are you doing? Also, Araya could speak up. Say, hey, brother, literally, I'm down for the risk. I don't want you to dictate this. There is a way that we can do this where you maintain being the chief and we go do our thing. This doesn't have to be some giant proclamation. You could even say that Aloy decided to withdraw last second because you're the chief and yada yada. But, like, come on, man. I don't know why she's not speaking up here. If it's important enough to her that I become the chieftain and overthrow him, you might as well say, what's going on? Ugh. Communication, friends.
To hunt, to strive. That is the way of the Banuk and of the contest before you. You will climb the frost figures from the east, Aratok from the west.
It could be that she so heavily subscribes to Banuk cultural narratives that she wants this to go off so that so that they have the full loyalty of the Banuk. Like, that's the one angle on this that I could understand, where she's like, look, they're not going to take this seriously if we go, and Aratak keeps saying this is a bad idea. If we need the entire Banuk force after this, then Aloy doing this will garner the support of their constituents because they're all going to adhere to it. Like, that I could understand. If that's the angle she's playing, cool. But otherwise, outside of that, I don't know that I understand why she's so reticent right now.
Each trail wends its way through deadly machines. Hunters from the Werak will be posted along the way. They will hail you, calling out machines for you to slay. Your hunt will take you around the ridge to the center, where you must descend to the valley for your final kill. Each time, after your prey has fallen, you must launch a beacon such as this so that all our kin will see your progress.
Kill machines, launch balloons. Got it. So, the first of us to launch the third balloon wins?
Well, yes. But as challenger, your path to victory is harder. If even one of your beacons comes in after Aratok's, he prevails.
Ha! What the fuck? I'm actually mad at Orea. Like, I am legitimately pissed right now. You have got to be kidding me. We just had this conversation in the camp that you need to shoot straight with me. I am like, I'm not mad at the rule. I'm not mad at the rule. Whatever. It's how they designed it. If they need it to be, if they need the challenger to have a harder path than the person who's currently in power, because they really need to know that the person who's challenging it is more powerful, be my guest, by all means. I am so mad that she didn't tell this to Aloy. It is astoundingly bad form. We just had this conversation. You, oh, by the way, me when we're in camp and say, oh, by the way, this is my brother. So there's some like personal shit going on here. And then I come all the way over here. He provides me with the opportunity to withdraw. At which point you could speak up. You could have even told me when I was in the camp, by the way, when you do this challenge, I'm just going to give you a heads up that before you throw your spear in the sand, it is going to be more difficult for you than him. Here is what you are getting into. It is so outrageously frustrating to me that she keeps dropping the important information when Aloy's already sunk in. And at this point, after this point, it would be on Aloy at this point on trusting Araya. You have lost every semblance of trust that I have at this point. If Aloy wants to say, you know what? No. You know what? I'm out of here. Figure it out yourself, Araya. I'm going back to the Sundom. I got shit that I got to handle there. This is ridiculous. Your form here is completely on you, and I am not going to follow through with this because this is ridiculous. That is absolutely well within Aloy's right to do. Even if she just wanted to make a point. You're really going to play me like a pawn here when you need me? Because Aloy has leverage. Araya needs Aloy. That's the thing that is just mind-blowing about this, is she's not any better than anybody else. She needs Aloy in order to get into where she wants to go, and she's just going to keep manipulating Aloy via withholding information like this and prey on Aloy's goodwill here. I showed up and gave you a chance to talk to the spirit that you talked to 5 years ago. I've given you an opportunity to go. I am agreeing to overthrow your brother. The least you could do is communicate with me. I'm so over her right now. Unbelievable. The amount of disrespect for Aloy. That's what you're essentially doing. You are disrespecting somebody's autonomy and somebody's goodwill and somebody's willingness to help you out when you withhold information after you ask for a favor like this. Orea is the asshole here. More than anybody else. Aratak is just following the custom. Aratak's just doing his thing. Aratak's doing what he believes is best for the Warwick. Nobody else to this point has challenged him. Maybe because they know the challenge is hard. Maybe because they trust him. Aloy's the one that came in here and threw her spear down and said, let's do this, with the backing of Araya. So Aratak's like, look, I'm just following Banuk custom. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do in this moment. And I'm fully prepared to do it. And I even gave you an out. And my withholding sister, who I know is screwing you over right now, is screwing you over. Holy shit. I can't remember the last time I was this angry at an NPC.
You had your chance, Outlander.
So did you.
The hunt begins on my mark.
And Araya is so lucky that Aloy has high self-esteem.
Now!
All right, gotta head up that mountain. Looks like there are a few ways to go up, and those rock paintings mark the paths. Okay, up we go.
Oh god, I can't Skyrim climb this. I gotta be smart. And you know what's wild about, here's another, okay, you know what, before I finish, I realize this is an intense moment, but I have to get this off my chest. Here's another reason why this is really stupid. Orea needs Aloy to be on her full focus, no pun intended, for how she climbs this and how she does this trial. When you throw a wrench in this at the last minute, you completely throw Aloy off her game from a performance standpoint. Aloy could have been better prepared for this. It is in Araya's favor to be forthcoming with the information so that Aloy could properly prepare. It's just mind-blowingly stupid all the way around.
Come on, Aloy, time's wasting. I seem to be on the right path. Almost to the top.
Let's go. Up. Wait. Thank you.
All right, Challenger. You need to take out the herd below. Every machine.
Kill her. Okay, do that.
Completely unnecessary. You're wasting time doing that, Aloy.
I dropped the ladder for you. Climb on up and launch your marker.
All right, here we go.
Now climb the ridge and launch your balloon.
Can do. Man, this is intense.
Haratok knows what he's doing. No time to waste.
Take the rappel point to the next challenge.
2 bellowbacks ahead, Challenger. Kill them both. None of the other machines matter.
All right, 2 dead bellowbacks coming up.
Oh my god.
Keep quiet now. Okay, one down. Got them both. I better get to
Raise your marker.
Whee! There's no way air attack went that fast.
I'm ahead, but only by a little. I gotta get moving.
Now take the zip line and work your way down to the valley.
I will say this is pretty badass. Like, this is a cool gaming sequence. I appreciate this a lot, but like... Oh, where'd my intense music go?
Close now.
Whee!
Almost down. All right, to the last challenge.
Yeah. Thunderjaw.
Something's wrong. My kin should be here, driving in our final quarry.
They're right behind us!
Oh, shit. Guess we're working together, big dog. Yeah, the corruption's real, guy.
So it's true. Frost claws from Thunder's drum.
The attack cut short the competition. Naturally, there can be no result. It is void.
Shit's gonna keep happening, dude.
You saw what she did. She defeated the machines, not I. It is proven. She is the better hunter.
A man of principle.
We are Banuk. Survive, prevail. What else matters?
Whoops.
My blood is in your teeth. I take my place behind you on the hunt.
No more hunters may make the ascent to Thunder's drum. The way is closed to all but the chieftain and myself.
It is not my place, but I would ask a boon. To accompany you and my sister.
Actually, Air Attack, I would like it to be just me and you. Orea, you can go sit your ass in the tent back at the town and think about being a withholding. You ain't coming with me. Kiss my ass. As chieftain, I hereby banish thee to the town. I don't need your ass. I know how to harvest stuff. I'm the shaman. Look, I'm the shaman now. Look at me. You did this to yourself. You ain't coming with me because I don't know what other kind of bullshit ass lies you're going to tell me. I don't know what other shit you're going to withhold. I trust this guy, this man of principle who has shown up and backed up and walked the walk and talked the talk. This dude is reliable as far as I'm concerned. He's consistent. Your ass has only been consistent in the worst possible way. You are not coming with me.
It might be permitted. But only if you do as I say.
Boo! No. Yeah.
Only if you do as I say.
Yes! Suck it.
Thunder's drum awaits. There's a camp at its base, Long Notch it's called. Meet us there when you're ready. Chieftain.
Yeah, that's right. That's Ms. Chieftain to you, liar.
A new outfit. And a weapon like Artok's. I guess the chieftain gets the chieftain's gear. And now to Long Notch. Nothing left to keep me from Thunder's drum.
Nuke Warwick Chieftain. Oh shit, dude. An imposing outfit made equally for ceremony and extreme survival. I mean, that is kind of cool. Do I wear that? Yeah. Yeah. Just to remind Araya who's in charge. Yeah. Yeah. Orea is officially my least favorite person. Orea is tied with Helis for my least favorite person in this game. I just want to lock Orea in a tent with Helis. Let him just monologue. That's what I want. God, I'm so mad about that. I don't trust Araya as far as I can throw her at this point. Why would I? Oh, really? All right. Cool. Oh, by the way, Aloy, in order to stop the daemon, It requires a human sacrifice, and you have to be a red-headed Nora in order for it to happen. So, sorry, I forgot to tell you about that.
Outlander, it would be my honor to speak with you.
That's chieftain to you, Umnek.
I've heard of you, Huntress. Each of the many verses of your song tells of an impossible victory. The notes echo across the cut.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
That I know. My song used to echo around Banur. Umnak, the hunter of legendary machines. That's why I'm here. For another. They call it the claws beneath. Or they did when I was younger. Its defeat would have given my song a fine end. I used to travel between Banur and the cut without stopping to sleep. But this trip, my bones ache, Huntress. But you, out hunting Aratak, leading your own Werak. If half your song is true, you are the only hunter I trust to go in my place.
You want me to hunt for you?
Not just for me, no. For an old friend.
You want me to hunt in your place? Is that some kind of Banuk custom?
Well, perhaps it should be, but no. We survive and we prevail, until we fail to do either. I confess, this is not easy for me. For any other machine, I would die as I have lived. A Banuk hunter, weapon raised. But too many good lives have been lost to the claws. Throwing my old corpse atop the pile accomplishes nothing. Better to live in a world without the claws than to die while it still makes children orphans.
Sounds like you've got a reputation.
To be Banuk is to push your body to its limits. I found my limits higher than most. Fearsome machines needed killing, and in my youth, I found I had a talent for killing them. Even now, my name carries such weight that when the claws beneath re-emerged, the Werak came to me.
Do you still have the same faith in yourself that your Werak seems to have?
Perhaps I did. Before I held my bow in shaking hands. Noticed, for the first time, the spots on my knuckles. What a strange thing it is to be old. To stare backward and see such distance. But to stare forward at a looming wall.
This machine, the claws beneath. Why travel all the way to the cut just to hunt it?
Some songs. They include a refrain. The return of a past moment. It seemed fitting.
You've hunted this thing before.
Must have been 20 winters past. We were so close to bringing the claws to bay. Closer than anyone else ever got.
We?
Me. And my friend. He was a chieftain of my Werak then. A skilled hunter. Every few years, the claws would emerge in a new location. I knew of 2 chieftains he'd sent to their burial pyres. My friend became the 3rd. This hunt, I had hoped to complete it in his honor.
Sounds like Blue Maw to me.
This is obviously important to you, Umnak. Are you sure you want someone else to take down this machine?
No, I am no longer a match for the claws beneath. If I ever was. If I face it, it will kill me. Of this I have no doubt. The Banuk blood in my veins screams at me to take on the claws myself. But I must see it brought down. And dead men see precious little.
All right, Umnak. I'll do what I can.
I've no doubt you can do quite a lot. The stories say the claws beneath returns here only once every 6 winters. The whispers I've heard say it now makes its home on the northeast edge of the cut. Hunt well.
Even if I care to travel.
Oh man, how lucky are we that it's year 6 And it came last year, so come back in 5 years and kill it for me, huh?
The Banuk
Yeah.
might find this blue.
You know, I admire that guy's willingness to take inventory of reality. I really do. Like, he is acknowledging that the custom is going to lead to his death, and he's made a decision that's difficult for him and is willing to ask for help. It's a very vulnerable thing to do. I respect it. Aloy doesn't have to say yes, but it's cool that he's willing to take ownership of that and acknowledge how hard it is for him, rather than get all up in bravado and suppress that. Like, it's really, think about how much more invited into that conversation we are, how much more willing Aloy may be to help out because he was willing to engage with himself and therefore her more authentically around his experience of what was going on. It's so important to do that. That invites people in. That gives people the context they need in order to decide if this is something they want to do. And she understands why he's not doing it. And she understands some context, and it's vulnerable. It's connective.
Stuff valuable.
If you have no ambition to one day become chieftain,
You're Aloy, right?
Yep.
My pop, Berggrund,
Hey.
told me you might be heading up to see me. Varga, pleasure. Hey, that spear is really something. You've customized her, haven't you?
I've made a change or two. You've got an eye for weapons.
I wish these Banuk agreed with you. I can't seem to sell scrap to a Glentalk around here. Everyone wants boring old bows and spears. I like the more unusual stuff. And the Banuk can get unusual. Like that spear Aratak hauls around. An ice rail. Ooh, or that weapon of Araya's. What I wouldn't give to poke around inside one of those. Feel the lightning on my fingers. Or inside of anything, really. Last commission I had was a month ago. A weapon that spat fire. That didn't go well.
Well, look what I've got.
I've got an ice rail, just like Aratak's. You want to take a look?
Are you serious? Yes, I'd love that. Okay. Obvious design flaw. So if I replace these... Yeah, that should... Right. So, believe it or not, she's operating at, let's be generous, half her potential.
What's with the she's?
Oh, Pop says all weapons are girls. I don't think he realizes it's a compliment. Well, listen. If we had a Thunderjaw's mandibles to work with, her gears would be well and truly greased. And I know where to find one, if you want to go hunting with me.
Remind me what we need to fix up this thing?
That Thunderjaw's...
So, let's say someone you know happened to have a weapon like Araya's.
You don't.
See for yourself.
Of course. Look at the... So the coils generate the spark, but the power source isn't even bolted in. I won't lie. She's beautiful. But there's beautiful and then there's beautiful. What we need is a Stormbird Talon. Lightning flows over them like water off a goose. And I know where one is. Hunt it with me, I'll turn that weapon into your new best friend. And second best.
A weapon that spits flame, huh? Like this one?
Let me just pull all these out of my pocket.
Think you could do anything with it?
You got my forge fire back? Well, if you took down Olgrid and his goons for this thing, I guess she's yours now.
Why don't you finish it for me first? Make her into the weapon she was supposed to be.
Thought you'd never ask. I'm gonna need a bellowback snout. Any bellowbacks will do. Can you handle it alone?
I think I can manage that. So we need parts from a Stormbird and a Thunderjaw? And you know where to find them.
That's right. It's gonna take some traveling, though. We can find a Thunderjaw out in the Valley Meet, and a Stormbird roosts near the Free Heap. I'll pack and meet you out there. This'll be fun.
Okay.
Boy, just when you thought you're gonna do all this shit, you... Okay. Well... Let's take a look-see at where I'm supposed to go. Because I got... Wait, so talk to... Alright, talk to Aratak. Talk to Orea. Whoa, we gotta go. Oh, okay. So I gotta go to a bellowback area to get the snout. And there's not a bellowback area up in here. Claws beneath is up there. I mean, again, if I was going to headcanon this, essentially, this would be a worthwhile endeavor because we're going to have a better weapon for us to go into the Thunder's Drum with. So, let's go do this. Man, they really packed a lot in this DLC. I thought this was going to be over like 2 episodes ago. I really thought we were going to be back to the final fight. But here we are. Now I'm wearing this super warm outfit. There's the bellowback. Honestly, I'm kind of over the outfit. The outfit's way cooler. Well, at least that was easy.
That should do it. Varga can finish her forge fire now.
Wow. Neat. All right. Meet Varga at the Stormbirds. Whoa, okay, so we're... Wow, okay. I guess I'll... Jeez, I didn't realize that we were going to be going down into the Sundom for this shit. But we get to fight hand in hand for a Stormbird. And those are pretty fun to kill anyway, so. Still nighttime. All right, we're at the day tower. Down we go. What direction are we going? We're going this way. Skyrim climb time.
The scrapes.
All right. There it is. There she blows. Yeah, I was just saying, that thing's dead. Out of here.
Varga said she could improve the Stormslinger with us.
Okay. Turn to Varga. There she is. I didn't even talk to her. I just went in here and killed this thing. What'd you say?
Got that part you need?
Perfect. Already got machine oil on my hands.
Here it is. 1 Stormbird Talon.
Let's do it. I haven't had this much fun in ages. Watch and learn, Aloy. Only don't stare directly at the sparks. Okay, so I pretty much had to break her in half. But what's a staff? A stick. One thing I like about sticks, you can put them back together however you want.
Which you did. This thing looks a whole lot more dangerous.
She's better than dangerous. She's a genuine Varga special now. Take good care of her.
I've got what you asked for. Show me what you had in mind for the forge fire.
Finally! Was feeling like I neglected her.
I love how she just has
and that's
a workshop.
a little too close to my family life.
Like spontaneously
She's
available.
done and she's yours. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
That looks great. I almost expected you to turn it into a burning rope caster or something.
Nah, she was close to perfect from the start. She's a Varga original after all.
Okay, Varga.
You don't want...
All right. Finally. Meet Varga at the Thunderjaw site. Can do. I gotta go to this place. I haven't been to that place. Wait, do I meet? All right. Let's go. I have not fought a Thunderjaw with a Shield Weaver on yet. Also, you guys like how I upgrade all these weapons I'm never gonna use? Oh, Thunderjaw. There he is. There he is. Come at me, bro. Really? You're gonna fight me after seeing me do that shit? What a weirdo.
Okay, they're heading back. There. Varga should be able to fix up the ice rail.
Yep. She just sat there and watched again. What do you think?
Found the part. Ready to fix up that weapon?
I am always ready to fix up a weapon.
Never thought I'd be glad to see the inside of a Thunderjaw's mouth.
I sure am. Every machine's a big box of tools. Once they stop trying to kill you, that is. Trust me, Aloy. You won't recognize this ice rail when I'm through.
By the way, as she fixes this up.
There. Oh, she's perfect. A spear's a spear, right? Poke slash done. Boring. I adjusted the chill water flow, rebalanced here, strapped on a launcher, and now she shoots freezing spikes. Ta-da!
You weren't kidding.
More beautiful, more powerful. That's my guarantee.
Thanks, Varga. These 3 weapons are fine work.
Are you kidding? I can't remember when I had this much fun. I should be thanking you.
I'm the one walking away with the weapons, aren't I?
Seems wrong to charge you for giving me an opportunity to do what I love doing. Don't tell Pop I said that. Here, whenever I tinker with weapons, I go through fistfuls of this stuff. Maybe you'll get some use out of it.
Blue gleam, cool. Thanks for being here, friends. I appreciate that y'all take the time to hang out with me while we do these. It's a lot of fun for me to bring these games to you. The fact that you go through these side quests and stuff with me and are cool about it, I appreciate it. We get to meet cool people. Sometimes we have some cool analysis that comes out of it. But I'm really grateful that you're all here, whether you're live here on Twitch or whether you're on YouTube. Thank you for supporting what I do. Part 30 has been fun so far. I'm just amazed at how much has gone into this. I really thought that we were going to talk to the chieftain, we were going to overthrow him, and then that was going to be the end of it. I didn't realize we were going to have so much extra stuff to do here. Full Mirror, thank you for the raid. Much appreciated.
The northeast edge of the cut. Umnak said I'd find the claws beneath nearby.
Oh, this area. All right, let's go. Hoya. Where are you at, Blue Maw?
There you are.
Oh, it's one of these. Oh, shit. All right. All right. I see you. I see you, homie. Oh. I'm going over here. Oh. What a shot. What a shot.
The claws beneath. Umnak wasn't lying when he said you were tough.
You're done. You're dead. Yeah. All right. Good shit. Easy peasy. Love that little preemptive strike there. Yeah, claws beneath it, it's a rock breaker. I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't think about it being a rock breaker. But it definitely makes sense. Those are cool enemies, though. It'd be cool if the earth, like, collapsed underneath it, like, after they pass, because there's, like, tunnels and shit. Taking destructible environments to the next level. All right, let's see what this guy says. This is a very vulnerable moment for this guy.
It's over. It wasn't easy, but that rock breaker won't be hurting anyone anymore.
The claws beneath brought low by an outlander. This part of your song will travel far.
I don't know if I'll ever get used to that.
I've found people rarely live up to their songs. You're an exception, though. And you've done me a true kindness. My foe is buried now, like so many of the hunters it killed. My friend, my chieftain. You would be pleased to know his fate won't befall anyone else. Take this in thanks. I believe you've more than earned it.
Can't go around taking vengeance on random travel.
Thanks, dude. Everybody giving me these treasure boxes. With, like, nothing in it. Garbage. Give me something better next... No, it's fine. Alright.
All the winters. Coming at once.
That guy's got a really, it's kind of fascinating. Like, that guy's been chasing after this thing for so long that now that it's done, it's kind of like, what do you do? What do you focus on now? I would love to know what it is this guy's going to care about now that this thing's been taken down. It's a hard proposition for a lot of folks. Why you want to diversify what you hit your wagon to.
Long Notch is well stocked, as you asked.
And our scouts are watching for more frost claws.
Our numbers rise. 3 more hunters have passed their trials. But our purpose was to take back the mountain. Now what?
Stay prepared. Sharpen your spears. Should we not return, defending the cut falls to you. If our chieftain agrees with his course.
Sounds like good advice, but let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Chieftain?
The weight of command is no small burden.
I can see that.
Damn, see, I mean, that's cool. They're like, you did it, so we're following. I appreciate that. They are people of principle. Even though sometimes those principles could be kind of whatever. I mean, all these tribes have that. But the fact that they're like, yeah, man. Chieftain?
I take it you haven't spoken to Araya yet?
Why should I? This is what she wanted. To return to Thunder's drum. It is her only care. So I should have known she would find a way to push aside my spear. After the Karja took my sister, not all of her came back.
Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. Ooh. Pray tell.
What happened to Araya when she was a captive of the Karja?
As a shaman, she's adept with machines. Tracking them, stunning them. The Karja used her to capture them for the Sun Ring, where they were unleashed upon the innocent. They made her part of their blood sport. The shame she suffered beneath their pitiless sun.
She survived.
She endured. Endured by reminding herself of the spirit, her purpose. And now that's all she has.
Damn. I mean, I gotta take his word from proximity on that, but that's... Oof. Just as a side note, completely unrelated to what he's talking about or any kind of mental health thing, has there ever been a time in your life where you have ever said something important and like arguably dramatic and you turned your back to the person you were talking to and spoke into the void? The trope in like shows and video games and where people like turn away and like dramatically like look off into the distance and speak in the opposite direction of where the person they're talking to is cracks me up, because I don't think I've ever done that, and I don't think I've ever been in the presence of somebody who did that. It's just all I can think about anytime there's a scene where that's what somebody does.
Tell me what happened to the first expedition.
Araya led the way to the summit, but it was blocked by a great door. Some kind of cauldron. New metal. We tried to break through, but it was unflinching. We were exhausted. No way forward and machines behind. I made the call to push back. It cost us greatly. But to remain would have cost us everything. I had hoped to never subject Araya to that again.
What do you think is beyond that door?
I do not know. That expanse of metal, that dead hum. Nothing sacred belongs there. Machines and death, that's what the mountain holds. Death for us or for the daemon.
And if we do find the spirit?
Then perhaps we should put it out of its misery.
Always a door. Always a door.
For what it's worth, I'm glad you're coming with me.
Someone has to keep Araya safe.
Here's to better days than this one.
It is not Aloy's responsibility to get in the middle of this stuff with Aratak and Araya, but like, damn, dude. Does Araya want you to be this protective of her? If you're a caretaker that takes it upon yourself to tie your identity and agenda to the well-being of somebody else, you should damn well better make sure that that's consensual. Because you actually inadvertently strip the autonomy and really like sense of ability away from a person when you just constantly make every decision you do about their well-being without consultation with them first. Like in some ways it becomes disrespectful, in this case to Orea, but to the person or people that you're taking care of when you don't really give them a say in the matter. Orea has made it very clear that this is something that she wants to do, that she's willing to take on the risk, that and he's just like making all these decisions that he thinks are in her best interest but are in violation to her autonomy. And so in some ways it starts to become about him and his role of I'm the person that takes care of Araya, rather than being about the person that he's taking care of, which is that this person has decided on her own that she would like to go do this. Make sure the people that you're taking care of, especially if you're making big decisions on their behalf, have consented to you taking on that role. And check in with them often, because otherwise you're making it about you.
It's been a long day, and all I want is to stare into the fire and make myself feel
All right, here we go into the frozen wilds, huh? Part of me that wants to like explore over here and just see. I need that animal figurine. It's a really cool area. I'll never get enough of that crunchy snow. God, this is like the wall in Game of Thrones. Making a little stew for us?
Aloy, this is it. My chance to reunite with the spirit, and perhaps to reunite her with the blue light. It's not a chance I would have had alone. I needed an outsider. Someone ignorant of our ways, but no, not ignorant.
Are you trying to thank me, Araya?
Yes, of course. That's what you do. Untangle knots. Create possibilities. Thank you for making this pilgrimage possible. I only wish it had not been necessary to humiliate Aratak.
It wasn't!
You were wise to let him come. He's earned the right. Stubborn as stone, but he's had to be. The war demanded it. And so have I.
I want to learn a little bit more about her, but man, I need you to take ownership of the way that you got me here.
Aratak told me you were a captive of the Karja for a long time. It sounded bad.
For Aratak, it all comes back to that. He thinks the Karja changed me. They did not. They merely sharpened my focus. When all else is lost, you think about what's truly important. The spirit. The blue light. The beyond.
And my brother, too. Every time I felt the chill northern wind, I thought of him, worried for him.
Ishirna, thank you for the raid. Important thing to talk about here. If you've not watched my video on attachment on YouTube, you should watch it, because what I'm about to say here gets expanded upon significantly in that video. Humans go through this process of what's called like internalization. And there are different theories on what internalization is and how we do it. But essentially, the main concept is that you hold object permanence for people when they are not in immediate proximity to you. And the human brain, being as evolved as it is capable of creating that internalized object of a person with some degree of nuance. There are some theories that call it an internalized object. There are some that call it an attachment figure. But regardless, the idea is that you have that person / things in your mind to draw upon in general, but more often in times of adversity. So when Orea was in this position where she was captured by the Karja and was doing what she was doing with them, she drew upon those internalizations as a way to keep herself grounded and focused, and in some ways as a means to maintain her sense of identity when she's being influenced by an outside force that's creating maybe some trauma, but at the very least that adversity. A lot of times people don't actually know what their attachment figures or their primary internalized objects are until they experience adversity and then inadvertently draw upon those objects as a means to guide through that. We also do this in things like death. A person dies and you carry that person on in a particular type of way. We carry those in a very simplistic way. We can never capture the entirety of who a person is, but when Araya says that she was thinking about Aratak and she thinks about the Banuk and she thinks about the blue light, I mean, this is in a lot of ways the importance for a lot of people of things like religion and having a significant other that they can rely upon is it gives you some stability in a very abstract psychological way in a time where you experience environmental adversity. It's a very powerful force. And it's one that the more conscientious you can be of it, the more you can shape it and draw upon it from an even more sophisticated perspective or way. And it can be a very powerful thing to get you through some tough times when you need it.
What did the war do to Aratak?
He cut away everything until only his true self remained. Unyielding ice. No Banuk has more sheer will. He fought the Karja for 1,000 freezing nights, yet always rallied his hunters at sunrise. It is said he endured 23 wounds in those years. His hunters counted them. He never complains of one. Instead, he complains that life with me is harder. He's right. What have I ever given him but struggle?
Well, see, oh man, there's so much going on here. This is part of the problem of Aratak constantly taking on this role as I am the protector of Araya. Is it inadvertently creates a sense from Araya that she is burdensome, that she's a problem, that she's somebody who constantly needs to be attended to. Like, you kind of start to buy into that stuff when somebody that's important to you takes that on. Like, it's a very complicated dynamic between the two of them because of this. She says, all I've ever been to him is burdensome. Well, that's because he chooses to see her as somebody he constantly has to protect. Like, there's a reciprocity there in their dynamic that's cultivating this very like weird tension between the two of them, because Araya is strong-willed and has this very deep connection to her guiding principles and feels a sense that she is connected to who she is and that she's unchanged by this thing with the Karja. And Aratak has this whole role as the chieftain and believes that he's her caretaker and all this stuff. And because they're so like, they're steeped in these things and there's this clash and there's this tension between the two of them, and it creates this very complicated dynamic where they're not actually engaging with each other for who they are. They're engaging with each other for who they assume each other are. And there are few things more disconnecting in interpersonal relationships than when people act on assumption instead of on reality. It puts a wedge between people. It is so important to constantly challenge your assumptions with the reality of what it is you're working with. And that includes the people that you care about. Continuously engage them with curiosity and ask questions, make observations, challenge your assumptions, and you might have more meaningful connective relationships as a result of that. Orea and Aratak have this very weird dynamic because of the assumptions they're making. And a lot of us do this if we're not thoughtful about ourselves and our interpersonal relationships, and you don't want to fall into that trap. Because now you waste all this time trying to convince a person that you're not who they're assuming you to be, instead of just working with what you got.
What are we gonna find up there, Araya?
Ruins. Machines. And a door, like that of a cauldron. I have faith that you can find a way through it, Aloy. For beyond it lies the spirit. I know I can find her there. Though I do not doubt the daemon has tried to hide the way.
Now I'm gonna give you one opportunity, Araya, to revise your answer to that question. What am I gonna find up there? Is there anything up there that you're not telling me? Because the last 2 times you had me do something for you, you hit me with something on the back end, and I don't appreciate that. And honestly, if I'm Aloy, I'm incredibly hesitant to do this. Because I'm worried I'm gonna walk up there and there's gonna be some whack-ass shit that you knew about that you didn't tell me about because you're so desperate to find this spirit. So you better come clean to me right now. Like, if I'm Aloy, I'm putting pressure on her. I'm making her uncomfortable, and I'm seeing if she squirms. I'm seeing how steadfast she is and saying, look, no, seriously, this is all I know. This is what's up there. I need her to elaborate. I need her to be very clear and show me that she has been thorough in how she's answered this. If I'm Aloy. Because you screwed up twice on this. Aloy is absolutely well within her rights to do that. Aloy has to be careful not to do that with other people. Araya's past behavior is something that she can use as a way to try to like make a better decision about the present with her. She doesn't want to, you don't want to translate what's happened with Araya to other people, but Aloy would be within her rights to put a little pressure here. It's impossible for me to know the answer. Do I think Aratak's influence has led Araya to be this way of withholding information? It is entirely possible that Araya is very cautious with what she says because Aratak overly compensates for that and overly activates. I don't know for sure. It's a solid hypothesis.
Now that I'm chieftain of the Werak, I don't suppose I can order you to tell me about Silence?
Aratak would never have presumed to grasp for a secret of the Conclave. But you are not Aratak, and if you have dealt with Silence, your need is well apparent. Silence came to Ban-Or from the distant north, a young shaman of the Owl's Watch. A remote Werak that rarely comes south to parley.
Silence was a shaman.
He was. Or at least, when we sent runners to ask the Owl's Watch, they said he was. His knowledge of the machines was beyond compare, and he was hungry to trade what he knew to the rest of us. It didn't take him long to gain the trust of the Conclave, and eventually, an invitation to attend.
What about you? Did you trust him?
No. But he impressed me. He carried himself with poise and authority. I wanted to learn from him, but that was not to be. He was granted knowledge of our most sacred meeting place, the frozen caves of the Malmstrom, a month's march from Banur. He met with us there, as is custom at high winter. But when we next returned, the caves had been looted. Relics of the old world stolen. Holes cut in ice and metal.
Yeah, that'd be Silence, all right.
He vanished with the spoils. We sent our best trackers after him. None returned. And when we checked back with the Owl's Watch, those who had vouched for him were gone. As though he never existed. Some in the Conclave began to doubt he was even Banuk to begin with.
And what do you think?
He committed an unforgivable sacrilege. He's unscrupulous and dangerous. But also brilliant, skilled, and knowledgeable without equal. Except, perhaps, for you. Anyone else I would warn off, but you may be able to treat with him safely. Just don't lower your guard.
I'll keep that in mind, Araya. Thanks. It hasn't been easy for you, Orea. Getting back to this point.
It was all to hear her voice again. This time...
Oh, we know.
We both will.
I'd like that.
Are you ready then? Once we ascend, it will be hard to turn back.
Let's go! Hey, hey, ha, ha. Hey, hey, ha, ha. Hey, hey, ha. Ascend without the rope, Batman. Hey, hey, ha, ha.
Finally, we ascend.
How? I don't see a way up.
Not up. Through.
No, brother!
Oh, that's badass. Let's go. Yes, waft it through the vents before I climb in there. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Come. The spirit awaits.
It's not all that awaits.
Smoke has been detected within the facility. This is not a drill. Please remain calm and proceed to the nearest exit. I repeat, this is not a drill.
So you see,
Please remain
I
calm
too can
and
call upon the
proceed to
power of the
nearest
old ones.
exit.
What was this place?
The spirit once told me that this all used to be part of its domain. A fortress that defended humankind from a terrible danger.
Fortress. It looks more like a machine.
Is that not fitting? The blue light often dwells in machines.
Let's just hope that some remains here.
Ooh, part 31's gonna be a doozy. Oh, baby. Into the cauldron. Thank you, my friends, for taking the time to watch this. I got you. You thought I was going to keep going. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I appreciate that you made it all the way to the end of part 30. Please leave a like, leave a comment, follow the links down in the description. I'm so excited to go through this and see what's up. This is going to be awesome. Yeah. Y'all are fantastic. Come hang out with us on Twitch sometime. I would love that. If you're binging, see you in the next one. If you're waiting for the next one to come out, we'll get it out as soon as we can. Appreciate you.